So welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk about process flow. Whether you're talking about the Woodyard, whether you're talking about anything in life, does it flow? Is it the least amount of steps? Is it the least amount of handles, the least amount of carries, the least amount of touches? Whatever. Today, I just wanted to quickly touch on the Woodyard here and see if you can apply it to other things in your life. And I guess in comments, let me know. Is there something else that you can actually see in your life that you could go through and process, or what they call is flow map that, and see where your inefficiencies are? The way I've got my logs here, they are 90 degrees to my bucking table. And what I do is come down here with the excavator, and I'll show you all this in video here in a minute. And I pick these up because I can drive sideways and then swing and pivot and set them onto the bucking table. That's why I've set these at 90. Now, if I was using a tractor and forks, I would probably have them right up here on about a 45, maybe a 35 degree angle to that. So when you drive your tractor in, you come in, pick it up, back up, and go up top. I see guys doing things like they'll come in and pick something up and do it 40 for a 90 degree or 180 degree turn all the way around and then come back. Minimize those track steps, minimize those footsteps, minimize that area that you guys are moving back and forth. Yes, I could put mine right up here, pick them up, and put them on there also. That would reduce that. But this is where they would come in from a trailer or a truck or whatever. So I have to think about how the logs are brought in as well. Offload logs, keep that in mind when you're setting your flow map up. Offload logs from logs to how and where you cut them. It might be right on a grapple. So these then you would want to put up here somewhere right next to where you're going to be cutting them off and splitting them. But that's for you guys to decide, not me. This is what works best for me. I'm just trying to get you guys to look and see, is there a quicker, better way to do it in your wood yard? So as they come off of the log pile, come up to the bucking table here, cut the logs, they drop, they roll out. Right here to the pile to go to the splitter, from the splitter to the basket, from a full basket right over there to the storage. And why they're over there in the storage is because that is sun all day long, and I wanted all of those split up baskets to get sun, so they get sun from the morning till the evening all the way around as it moves. And then all my chaff and everything that comes off of the splitter, the slash, goes right into the dump trailer, the Ultratech dump trailer. I can back the side-by-side up to that when it's full, pull that away. I've got my baskets oriented here, so when they're full, I come down and pick them up. And one thing I do with my forks, and I know some of you guys might not be able to do it because of the capacities, but I keep my forks narrow so it allows me to pick it at this side or this side. So when I come down here and I'm coming from over at my storage area, I drop my last basket off, come around the trees, I can pick this basket up on the short side or the narrow side and take it back over there. And then I can come around and pick this one up as well on the narrow side, but I want the big side or the wide side opening towards the splitter. So keep those things in mind when you are setting up your wood yard and trying to be a little more efficient with how you do things. So you can see how when I was taking the logs off the log stack there, I was basically making one motion, driving up and back. Granted, you can't do that on a tractor or skid loader in some occasions, but with an excavator, you can absolutely grab them off your log pile, swing your whole chassis around, and set them on your log rack. But here's another thing. If this was just a tractor with forks or a grapple or whatever, like I said earlier, I would actually put that at about a 25 or 30 degree angle from the log deck. That way I'm only coming in and making a very slight turn, pick up a log, backing up, and then dropping it on. I see guys, like I said before, making 3-point turns, moving their logs around the wood yard and all that. And again, it's all based on the flow, the least amount of movement to get something done. And with that, I want to touch on real quick that everybody's so hell-bent on getting the fastest log splitter out on the market. You know, it's a 3-second cycle time, it's a 6-second cycle time, it's all that. Everybody's paying money to get the fastest log splitters out there in the market, but then that's where they leave it. They leave the rest of the stuff out there on the table to find ways to go faster at it. I want to have that operation be just smooth. Everything flows through it. And here's areas where you can pick up time. The movements in your machine, the movements on your equipment, the number of times you pick and place. Now, one thing with the way I built this bucking table is that once I cut the logs, they literally drop, and I might have to give it a little push down through, but they drop and roll right to the splitter. So we can run over here real quick, and we'll show you on the side of this. You know, I got it loaded up. That's as many logs as I can get on there. Now when I go ahead and cut these, they'll all roll down and come out to here. You can see they're within a rotation of turning and dropping them onto the splitter. And again, there's no sense in having that thing be as fast as you can be if everything else in your operation takes you a ton of time. Plan out where you're going to leave your logs so you don't have to rotate your machine 100 times back and forth each time you load up the log deck. Again, this drops, falls through, comes to the splitter, I split them, I load them into the basket from this location to the drying area where they're going to season. So let's go ahead and get some of these bucked up real quick. Now you can see the log deck down table is all full. They're all backed up. So what I do then is I go and I start pulling them out and away, give me room to cut more up. But because I'm only one guy, I can only cut so many rounds up at a time before I have to actually start splitting them, which isn't a problem for me. I don't mind that. It gives a little bit of a change of pace, keeps your mind always thinking, not doing the same monotonous job of either cutting or splitting. And that's where you tend to get hurt, is when you keep doing repetitive motions and then your brain starts to wander. But you can see here, I've got a pretty good stack out here and everything under here. And as I start pulling these up out of the way, throwing them either on the pile or splitting them, then they'll start to filter back down through there. Some of them I'll have to reach up there with my pickaroon and pull back down out, but I guess you can't make everything perfect all the time. So we'll go ahead and throw a couple of these on the splitter, and I think you get the idea of the flow process. And guys, when you're looking at your wood yard or you're looking at your workstation or wherever it's at, does it make sense? Do you walk around all day looking for things? Talk to your boss. If you are the boss, take care of it. Make sure it doesn't make extra labor, extra work, extra processes. That's when you start tripping, falling, and getting hurt. So get your stuff set up, get a process flow going for it, flow map it, meaning grab a napkin, grab a magic marker, draw out your process, draw out your wood yard, where your logs come in, where you get them bucked up. I see so many high-level woodyard videos, and meaning high-level YouTubers that do wood and other things, and I watch the repetitive motion, the constant maneuvering and manipulating and twisting and turning and all of that, and it just doesn't make sense. Look at your process. See what it takes to streamline it, make it flow easier, make it flow better. One thing I did want to show you about this Wolfridge 17 VS that I've got here. And again, this is not my splitter to do things to, so I can't drill holes, can't do things like that. But I actually talked to Bob over at Wolfridge and said, hey, has anybody ever talked to you guys about a cycle counter for one of these? They've got the hour meter on the motor, but what about cycles here? How many cycles does it take to split a basket of wood? How many cycles through a log? How many cycles would it take to get all of this? Why, you'll never know. But one thing I did, and I did it with magnets because, like I said, I can't drill holes in this, or I don't want to. But I added a cycle counter to this machine. Something just as simple as a couple fish tank magnets that were able to hold on the cycle counter. This is off of Amazon. It's got a little lever and a spring, and I attached a chain down to this manual foot pedal return. So every time I push down on the foot pedal, it pulls down on the chain and activates the cycle counter. There you go. Activate it. And each cycle, you can see here, just pulls down on that chain, activates the counter from the foot pedal. Pretty simple. And now I can go through and tell how many cycles it took to do a basket of wood, or how many cycles it took. And it's all just for information. It really has nothing to do, but I thought it was kind of cool to know how many cycles it takes. So you guys got the opportunity to see the flow process here in my wood yard, and I put some thought into it when I set this up. So showed you the logs in, from how I maneuver them from the log pile over to the bucking table, and that could be for you guys to load them over with a grapple bucket or whatever. You want to try and cut them off right next to the splitter. Because as you can see, I'm literally within inches of the logs down here that I'm rotating to put onto the splitter. And then once I split them, take a handful of them and I set them into the basket. And you can see also what I was doing with all the slash and chafe that comes off of this. Like I showed you earlier, I've got that trailer over there, and basically it's just a throwaway from the splitter here. Again, look at your process. Look at the flow of how things go through. and try and, I guess, capitalize on that. Again, there's some YouTube channels out there that I'm not going to call out any names, but I will say, as I watch you guys' videos, there are some areas that you guys can definitely make improvements for flow. To me personally, you should really look at the entire operation, the entire flow process of what you do. Again, we'll come back down here, and you saw what I did there. That was 109 splits, or 109 cycles with that. Just a simple little cheap Amazon cycle counter. Put that on there. I think it was $9. Got that on Amazon for. But anyhow, 109 cycles, and we got the basket full of cherry and maple right now. I got to finish splitting that up. But hey guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Talk about more of this stuff. We'll have all kinds of other stuff going on. It's about 80 degrees out. I got to go eat some lunch. It's getting hot. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you again next time.